Hello everybody, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, HCL Tech and a lot of other technology companies have released their quarterly results in the last 1 week to 10 days. And I went through all these quarterly results and have identified a few trends that were common coming across all these quarterly results, and that's what we will be discussing in this video. The first trend that I want to talk about is the growth projections for the coming few months. Infosys specifically has reduced their growth guidance for the coming 2 to 3 quarters. And what does it mean? Initially, like in September and October 2023, 3 months back, they said that the company will grow by 1.5 to 2.5% in the next 1 year. But in January, just the last 10 days back, they mentioned that the growth will only be up to 1.5%, which means they are reducing the forecasted growth. And why is this happening? If you think about it, the interest rates are stabilizing in the world, which means that you and I don't need to pay a lot more on EMIs going forward. There is a projection that these interest rates will also go down, which means again the consumer spending will increase. People can borrow money much more quickly, which is good for the corporations because then they will be able to sell more goods. In spite of these interest rates projections being favorable for the corporates, they did not give any kind of increase in the growth projections. They rather are staying the same or even declining in cases like Infosys. Now, why is that happening? Because corporates, Indian corporates are already cash plus. They already have cash in their bank accounts, but still there are a lot of uncertainties right now. For example, more than 50% of the world's population is going into elections this year. There is a war situation that is going on. And number 3, nobody knows the real impact of Gen AI till now. With all these uncertainties, the sentiment is not too positive. And the companies, the technology companies are using this negative sentiment as one of the reasons to make sure that they reduce the cost, lay off employees, or even stay muted with respect to their growth projections. And they themselves are giving some room if something goes wrong. So, it doesn't have to do with the positive sentiment like how the stock markets are growing, but these guys are staying extremely cautious and using this negative sentiment rather to optimize their own organization. This is very important for you to understand because on one end, the stock markets are increasing because of the positive investor sentiment. But at the same time, companies are making sure that the negative sentiment or the uncertainty rather would be used to reduce their overall cost structure. The second trend that we observe across all these corporations is with respect to the emphasis on cloud, regulatory and also cyber services. Now, why are people moving towards cloud? In the last few years itself, a lot of organizations around the world have started their digital transformation journey, which means they are slowly moving their services towards digital or maintaining their databases on the digital infrastructure. Now, it is important for them to move towards cloud because they can build their own data centers, but those data centers probably can't have that level of sophisticated technical architecture. They might not have that flexibility. Considering all the positive, these guys have already committed moving to certain cloud providers. And since they have already committed, for them to actually go ahead and leverage or use that commitment and investment that they have made previously, they need to continue their cloud journey. And their cloud partners such as Accenture, Infosys, TCS would benefit from this journey. Similarly, cyber and regulatory are also becoming more and more important because with the impact of Gen AI, it is important for the governments to also make sure that the responsible AI is being implemented rather than just Gen AI, which might not have the positive impact on the overall society. Add on top of this, Microsoft has mentioned very clearly that they will have a huge role in making sure that the elections in 2024 are conducted in the best possible way. And they will play a huge role in maintaining the integrity of the elections. You can see how these companies are now slowly moving towards making sure that the regulatory and the cyber crimes are also limited. The third trend that we are observing is with respect to, of course, Gen AI. A lot of organizations organizations' workflows are changing. And again, not just workflows, the work itself is changing. And hence, organizations are committing more and more members for training people on the Gen AI. TCS, Infosys, Tech Mahindras of the world have mentioned that they are completing close to 50% of their employees getting trained on Gen AI 101. And they will push a lot more employees towards training on Gen AI. I'll link a video on the impact of the World Economic Forum discussions on the techies over here, and you will notice that almost all the top company CEOs are emphasizing a lot on how Gen AI is going to change their organization and also the entire industry. Please do go check it out. Before I continue into the next point, a quick request to all of you. More than 75% viewers on the channel are not subscribed. Please do go ahead, subscribe, and that gives me a lot of motivation to continue making these videos. And also going forward, I want to make videos more around identifying patterns rather than coming up with point-in-time news. These trends over the time, if you continue to follow, will give you good insights around what is happening, why it is happening, and builds your conviction to do something. So please do go ahead and subscribe. Now, the next point that we have witnessed across almost all the companies is with respect to the hiring and work from home policies. Now, TCS has very clearly mentioned that close to 65% of their employees are already working from office, and the remaining people, they are pushing them to come back to work very, very soon. And this is now coming across the entire board. More and more companies are pushing their employees to come back because these IT technology services providers are using that as one of the advantage points, so that when they go to their clients, they are telling that, hey, more than 50-60% of the employee workforce will be working from office, and there will be, of course, productivity gains and a lot of other positive stuff. That is their story, and hence they want more people in the office. Regarding the hiring trends, almost all the companies are saying again that, hey, we have over recruited for people in the last 2 years, 21, 22 and 23. So now we are cutting down on our recruiting numbers. Well, productivity gains because of Gen AI will come into picture. Tech Mahindra has very clearly mentioned that they have already started using Gen AI to simplify a lot of workflows within the organization. And it is only time that these workflows will be shifted towards a business case and be sold to the clients. So you will see the hiring will go down, and Gen AI will definitely impact the overall hiring trends. Whether it is for the positive, whether it is for the negative, depends on if you are getting upskilled versus not. It's a very, very personal point of view. I hope you continue to take away the trends rather than just the numbers from all these news that you come across. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.